All right, so it is 12 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get us started. Welcome, everyone, and thank you all for joining us for the 24th Annual Virtual Elder Abuse Conference, Evolving Interventions and Resources. My name is Lauren Ulrich, and I am the Abuse in Later Life Prevention and Outreach Coordinator at Vera House. All webinars offered during this conference are free thanks to the generous support of our sponsors. This year's conference is presented by Caring Transitions of Syracuse. And in addition to our presenting sponsor, this year we're fortunate to have 3 platinum sponsors, and those are Loretto, Onondaga County Department of Adult and Long-Term Care Services, and Syracuse Jewish Family Service. In addition, I'd like to acknowledge our gold sponsor, Wegmans, and our silver sponsors, At Home Independent Living, Bousquet Holstein PLLC, Christopher Community Incorporated, Community Bank, Countryside Federal Credit Union, Fulton Savings Bank, Geddes Federal Savings and Loan Association, the Marone Law Firm, and Touching Hearts at Home. More information about our sponsors can be found on the Vera House website at the virtual resource table link on our conference registration page. And the support of these sponsors not only funds this webinar series, but also extends beyond our conference to continue vital elder abuse education, outreach, and prevention work after the event. Just one final announcement before we begin today. The chat feature in this webinar has been disabled, but you are welcome to submit questions via the Q&A feature, and there will hopefully be time at the end of our session today to address any questions that are submitted. So without further ado, we can begin today's webinar, the overview of adult protective and aging services. And it's my pleasure to introduce you all to our first speaker today, JoAnne Spoto Decker, the Executive Director and Deputy Commissioner of the Onondaga County Department of Adult and Long-Term Care Services. So JoAnne, with that, I'll invite you to take the floor. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. It's my absolute pleasure to be here today and to present 2 of our programs that are in the Department of Adult and Long-Term Care Services. That is the Onondaga County Office for Aging and also Onondaga County Adult Protective Services. And joining me today are Natalie Rowan. She is a caseworker in Adult Protective Services, and Ellen McCauley, our Public Information Specialist. I am also proud that our department is a major sponsor of the Elder Abuse Conference once again this year. And I'm very grateful to the organizers for their wonderful work in making this happen for us today and throughout the week ahead. It's my pleasure again to speak to you on the Department of Adult and Long-Term Care Services, highlighting the Office for Aging, and then of course we'll go on to Adult Protective Services. Please feel free at any time throughout our presentation to type any question you may have using the chat option. We will be more than happy to address them at the end of our presentation. The mission of the Department of Adult and Long-Term Care Services is to provide support to improve the quality of life and overall well-being for adults and those with long-term care needs. We do that through the work of 4 units: the Office for Aging, that you'll hear about a lot today, New York Connect, the Long-Term Care Resource Center, and Adult Protective Services. The mission of the Office for Aging is to improve and enrich the quality of life for all older persons in Onondaga County, and working closely with seniors and senior care providers helps us to do that. The Office for Aging provides a wide range of cost-effective, community-based services for older adults to keep them in their homes and out of costly institutional care facilities for as long as it's safe and feasible to do so. We also provide programming and support to caregivers to assist them in meeting the daily challenges of caregiving. And we offer programs that provide a wide range of services that support healthy aging, most important, in a community setting. The Office for Aging offers these core services: information and assistance, nutrition services, health promotion, caregiver services, community service programs, HIICAP, Health Insurance Information Counseling and Assistance Program, HEAP, we all know that, the Home Energy Assistance Program, and EISEP-Expanded In-Home Services for the Elderly Program. One of the most used services in the Office for Aging is our information and assistance. Our number, 315-435-2362, is staffed from 8:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. Our staff will inform callers on what is available and explain the eligibility requirements, and then we'll also give information and contact numbers for other community resources when it's applicable. Good nutrition is essential for healthy community living and independence. Our staff provides nutrition screening, individualized nutrition assessments, and diet counseling for those at risk of poor nutrition. We have dozens of senior dining sites throughout Onondaga County, providing nutritious meals for anyone 60 years of age and older, and their spouse of any age. During the pandemic, many of these sites have been provided nutritious pickup meals. These meals to go allowed us to be in places we were not already in. This program has been so successful that we may offer these pickup meals even when in-person dining begins soon. The dining sites also give seniors the opportunity to socialize and attend programs and other health and wellness activities. Each summer, our office distributes very popular Farmers Market Nutrition coupons. We will begin the 2021 distribution at the Central New York Regional Market located at 2100 Park Street, the weekend of July 10th and 11th. This is so very, very popular. So more information and additional sites will be posted on our website on July 12th. And lastly, home delivered meals are provided to those who are incapacitated and unable to shop, cook, and prepare their own meals. Meal delivery is also a safety check for seniors who live alone. And that was so important. It's always important, but a major issue during the pandemic that we had. Our nutrition service unit also manages our health promotion evidence-based programming in keeping with our goal of creating a healthy aging process. Courses offered currently on the Zoom platform are chronic disease self-management program, Tai Chi for arthritis, and diabetes self-management program. The Zoom platform has been very popular, and classes will still be offered virtually even when we begin in-person classes again. The virtual platform allows those who are caregivers or homebound for any other reason to have access to these much-needed educational offerings. We offer information and consultation to family caregivers. In our now virtual caregiver discussion group meetings, caregivers share their experiences and find peer support. The Institute for Caregivers offers public information by local experts on a wide variety of topics useful to family caregivers. Currently, these presentations are offered in a live Zoom format and are also available for future viewing on our website. Just as in our health promotion programming, we learned the power of offering virtual discussion groups and education classes. Caregivers may have restrictions, many of them have restrictions on their flexibility and their time. The ability to watch a class on their own schedule has great appeal. So, our caregiver offerings going forward will also be a combination of live and virtual events. Our community service programs for seniors includes many diverse resources for older adults, including programs for home repair, housing counseling, legal services, shopper services, senior center activities, and social work services. We have transportation programs operating throughout the county, and we also assist with escorted medical transportation for those who have no other assistance. Our legendary Neighborhood Advisor Program provides services to older adults to assist them in maintaining their independence in a community setting of their choice. They also help people with applying for income stretching programs. HIICAP, our Health Insurance Counseling Assistance Program, provides free and unbiased health insurance information and assistance. This is especially critical during the Medicare open enrollment period, which opens October 15th and runs through December 7th. Staff and volunteer counselors assist with explaining medical bills, provide information on Medicare, supplemental health insurance, and prescription drug coverage. Another popular service is HEAP, as we all know, the Home Energy Assistance Program. HEAP helps individuals meet energy expenses with a one-time payment to their utility company or fuel vendor. Our office helps county residents age 60 plus to access this much-needed benefit. We also assist seniors with linkages to other income-stretching programs, including through HEAP, including SNAP and the Medicare Savings Program. Expanded In-Home Services for the Elderly Program, or EISEP. EISEP helps older adults and their families delay or avoid placement in long-term care facilities by combining case management and non-medical supportive services for frail seniors who are age 60 and older. EISEP works on a sliding scale fee, and case managers provide in-home care assessments where they review the personal care and the light housekeeping needs of each and every EISEP client. We also provide short-term respite to family caregivers who need some time to themselves for whatever reason. This respite can be in-home or through a social adult day setting. Aid services is provided through licensed agencies, and also we're very proud of our consumer-directed model, where the EISEP participant can hire and train their own aides. That's especially critical now with the aid shortage that's going on here in Onondaga County and everywhere. We have a vital program to assist in these unprecedented times that we've been facing for over a year and a half. The Office for Aging offers the Senior Health and Resource Partnership Project, or called the SHARP Project. That program serves seniors aged 55 and older that suffer from addiction, depression, or other mental health issues. It provides care management, aging, and mental health services, and important substance use counseling. The wide range of services and providers for long-term care can be overwhelming, and I know everyone here knows that. Well, New York Connects offers free, impartial information and assistance to help Onondaga County residents and their families in determining what services or programs are available to them and which ones meet their needs most appropriately. It's a very person-centered program. We work with any age and any payer source. Sometimes when we say long-term care, we think of older adults, but with New York Connects, that could be a young child to all the way up. So they're the place to call, and that's where people start. Our long-term care resource center provides ongoing medical-based care management for adults and children with disabilities. Our staff works closely with Adult Protective Services to provide nursing assistance when needed, and also provides personal and consumer-directed home care services to those participating in a Medicaid waiver program. During the past year, the Office for Aging responded to the COVID-19 pandemic in many ways. Just a few highlights include how our senior nutrition program managed the COVID-19 pandemic senior nutrition and healthcare worker hotline follow-up, responding to over 3,000 calls. Over 350,000, yes, 350,000 takeout and home delivered meals were provided to seniors and healthcare workers. The Office for Aging proudly led this coordinated effort with multiple wonderful community partners, as well as county interdepartmental staff. The Office for Aging and New York Times facilitated the delivery of masks and pallets of hand sanitizer from the New York State Office for Aging, resulting in the distribution of more than 35,000 masks and cases of hand sanitizer to assisted living facilities, nutrition providers, senior housing buildings, senior centers, community-based agencies, transportation programs, totaling more than 65 programs and organizations. Our goal of assisting seniors to age in place aligns with the new aging reality. Older Americans are living longer, healthier, more independent lives, and are more functionally fit. Many are aging in place right in their own homes and part of our shared community. Now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Natalie Rowan, caseworker extraordinaire with Adult Protective Services in Onondaga County.
JoAnne, before you do that, could I ask you a couple of questions that came in through our Q&A?
Yes, I'm going to look at them myself.
Oh, beautiful.
Can you send them to me?
You can actually just go to the bottom of your screen if you'd like to look at them and pull up. You should see at the bottom of your screen Q&A. If you click on there and go to our open questions.
I have them right here. Thank you. Is there a criteria for the vouchers? By the vouchers, I believe we are talking about the farmers market coupons.
Yes, that's when that came in.
Okay. Yes, there is, and that criteria will be noted on the website as well. There is an income criteria for the farmers market coupons. And the next question: is it possible if the PP info can be emailed after this?
I think that participants hoping that we could potentially email the PowerPoint out to participants after the session, which I would be happy to do with your permission.
Okay. Well, let me address that question by saying that we can, if someone needs masks, we have been mailing them. If someone needs hand sanitizer, we can mail that as well.
I think JoAnne, the question was if I can send out the PowerPoint to our participants after this event, which I would be happy to do with your permission.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I thank you very much, and I would now like to turn this over to Natalie as she discusses Adult Protective Services. And she's going to take my spot.
Hi. Adult Protective Services is a state-mandated program. It is for adults ages 18 and older who, because of mental or physical impairments, 1, can no longer provide for their basic needs, 2, protect themselves from neglect, abuse, or hazardous situations, and 3, have no one willing and or able to help in a responsible manner, and 4, without regard to income. Caseloads continue to grow as our population ages and family ties become strained by distance and burden of chronic illness. Approximately 18% of Onondaga County residents are over the age of 65, and APS receives slightly more referrals involving neglect rather than abuse. The mission of APS is a system of services aimed at maintaining individuals in the community as long as possible rather than institutionalizing them. The guiding principles of Adult Protective Services are a right to self-determination, state's authority to intervene, and the least restrictive alternative. APS Client Criteria. All 3 of these criteria must be met in order for APS to accept a referral. The first one, physical or mental impairment. The adult must have a physical illness or disability and or a mental impairment that results in a decreased capacity for self-care and self-determination, and an inability to meet essential needs or to protect oneself from harm. The adult must be at risk due to one or more of the following circumstances: unable to perform essential daily living activities, unable to obtain needed benefits and services, defenseless against abuse by another person, or vulnerable to financial exploitation or other criminal actions, unable and unwilling to manage their personal finances, and the conditions would present a serious or immediate threat to life, and have no one available, willing, and able to assist responsibly. This means that in many instances, relatives are not willing or able to meet all of the client's essential needs. Family members may be the ones who are abusing or neglecting the client. Neighbors or friends who have no legal responsibility may hesitate to play more than a limited role. Clients whose needs exceed the service capacity of other relatives or other providers. APS Service Delivery. The first way that APS can be involved, and it is the most prevalent way, is by referral. The law requires APS to conduct an investigation whenever it receives oral or written information concerning a person who is thought to be in a need of protective services. APS must accept all referrals which are made during normal working hours. Our hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. APS is required to act on referrals of life-threatening situations within 24 hours or 1 working day of receipt of the information. For other referrals, an investigation is begun within 72 hours and a home visit is made to the client within 3 working days. An assessment or services plan must be made by APS within 60 days of a referral. The APS worker assesses the risk, develops a plan of services if needed, and efforts are made to contact family, friends, neighbors, and other community-based services. Services that APS may provide are case management if there is not another community service agency involved, advocacy, money management, and finding alternative living arrangements, such as assisting in moving a client from their home or apartment to possibly assisted living or nursing care. Social service law requires that APS staff consult with other appropriate public, private, and voluntary agencies in order to ensure maximum understanding, coordination, and cooperation action in the provision of appropriate services to protective services clients. Making a referral. Any concerned person, family member, a friend, a neighbor, a health professional, or a social worker who sees an individual who, because of an impairment, is unable to cope with everyday life and is in need of APS help. That person can call the local adult protective services. Of course, individuals who recognize their own need for assistance may call on their own behalf. Social Service Law 473B provides immunity from civil liability to persons who, in good faith, refer an adult whom they believe may be in danger or in need of protective services. In a nutshell, protective APS caseworkers cannot disclose where a referral comes from. Crisis intervention. State law contains several specific interventions that can be utilized in crisis situations. A crisis is defined as a situation in which there is an immediate and identifiable danger to a person and their property. If the person, because of an impairment, is incapable of making the choices necessary to remove the endangered condition, the following interventions can be used to address crisis. The first one is short-term involuntary protective services order, a STIPSA. When an adult is at imminent risk of death or serious physical harm, is unable to understand the risk because of an impairment, and is refusing services, APS may apply to the Supreme or County Court for authority to provide involuntary emergency services for a 72-hour period, with one renewal for an additional 72 hours. The person may be removed to a hospital or receive other services available through APS. An access order. APS may apply to the court for an order to gain access to a person to assess whether such person is in need of protective services for adults when such official, having reasonable cause to believe that such person may be in need of protective services, is refused access by such person or another individual. Orders of protection. APS may apply to the court for an order to gain access to a person to assess whether such person is in need of protective services for adults when such official, having reasonable cause to believe that such person may be in need of protective services, is refused access by such person or another individual. Legal procedures of long-term consequence. APS must petition a court When long-term management of impaired person and or their property is required and no one else is willing and able to act responsibly. This happens in one of two ways. Guardianship, which is New York Mental Hygiene Law, Article 81, or guardians of persons who are intellectually disabled and developmentally disabled, Article 17A. Power of attorney. Effective June 13, 2021, significant changes to powers of attorney will take effect. One important change is that the requirement for a statutory gift writer was repealed. If an agent is authorized to make gifts in excess of an annual total of $5,000, the authorization must be granted in the modification section of the power of attorney itself. Adult Protective Services during the COVID-19 pandemic. During the pandemic, Adult Protective Services still provided services as we have been doing all along. There were some times where we were unable to actually go into the homes of our clients, but we would meet them at the door. We would try to make arrangements to see them. If we did go inside, we were fully dressed in PPE as not to possibly expose our clients to the COVID virus. Does anyone have any questions in regards to the presentation?
We do, Natalie, have a couple of questions in our Q&A. Both of them relate to some topics that JoAnne was discussing. We have a question about respite and then another question about the EISEP and SHARP programs. But I do want to take a second to see if anyone has any specific questions regarding APS so that maybe you could answer those while we have you in front of the camera here.
Sure.
So maybe I'll just give that a second to see if anyone would like to submit any APS related questions. And we'll address those if they come in. But if we don't get any APS questions, perhaps we could switch gears back to JoAnne and she could answer those two questions regarding her topics.
Certainly.
Just giving it a minute here. I know it can take a second if people have questions on their minds, but it may take a minute to type it. So we'll wait a couple more beats here. And if we don't have anybody chime in regarding adult protective, then we'll switch back over to JoAnne.
Sure.
All right, so it looks like we didn't have any questions come in. I guess we can always switch again if we do get some, but I know it'll take you and JoAnne a second to kind of shuffle. So maybe if JoAnne wants to come back onto screen and onto mic, and then we can get these two questions that we have addressed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Really appreciate your time. Hello, JoAnne, welcome back.
I want to just say thank you very much to Natalie, and thanks for everyone that joined us here today. Our department is committed to the continual enhancement of the well-being of our community by keeping and creating a safe and healthy environment through knowledge, access, and choice. Please feel free to contact us. Again, our numbers are 315-435-2362 for the Office for Aging, and for Adult Protective Services, our number is 315-435-2815. I wish all of you a great rest of the conference on behalf of Natalie and myself and everyone at the department, and I'm done today.
JoAnne,
Call anytime, email anytime.
JoAnne, if you have a few more minutes, I actually had Natalie switch back to you because we did have a couple of questions come into our Q&A specifically related to some of the topics that you've discussed, if you wouldn't mind addressing those.
Okay, let me start with the second question. Why does it take so long for people to be enrolled in the EISEP and SHARP program? Well, let me start with EISEP. We have, because of COVID and other circumstances, we have created a wait list. Partially that reason is because of the lack of licensed agency personal care aides. The other is, personal care aides. The other is we do offer the consumer-directed model, but as you may know, being professionals in the community, many times people don't know anyone to help with their care, to become enrolled with that model. So there was a lot of extenuating factors. The process now is opening up, and so we're very proud of that. If anyone here has a referral that they would like to make to EISEP, I certainly would recommend that you contact us. But this program, the EISEP program, and along with our Medicaid program in the Long-Term Care Resource Center that really mirrors EISEP, is if someone chooses the licensed agency model, then that's a wait. And because that's a wait, it becomes increasingly difficult to serve people that would prefer the licensed model. In addition to the stage shortage, there's also other extenuating circumstances not related to COVID, such as location. So someone may be quote unquote picked up by a licensed agency quicker if they're in a metropolitan area versus someone who is looking for services, say where I live, out way out in the country, past Camilla. So that's a bit of a difference. But that's a good question. And EISEP is not a program that every state has. That New York State Office for Aging particularly funds the EISEP program. So we're very proud of it, and we are serving a lot of people. But yeah, the extenuating circumstances have made that happen. But that's not how we run. We put people first, and hopefully things will open up for us. And as far as the SHARP program is concerned, I think they took that question up, and let me just say similarly that's the same situation. During COVID, our admissions to the program were the highest in New York State. All the other 6 are demonstration projects. So what happened is that the referrals for counseling did have a wait because our partners, which are Helio Health and Liberty Resources, had a large increase in the amount of people that they serve. So, in fact, I don't know, is it Lillian? Thank you for bringing that up because we are our team meets every month for the SHARP project, and that's on our agenda for tomorrow. So, the need for counseling was always great, and due to COVID, it certainly became greater. So thank you. Is it true that EISEP is for only people who do not qualify for Medicaid? Yes, that is true. And if someone is on Medicaid and needs those services, then they would can call New York Connects, and we would explain the process. The process would be that if they're not in a waiver program, or looking for just housekeeping only, we would refer the caller to what New York State Department of Health tells us to do, and that is to refer them to Maximus. Maximus is the state arm of assessments for persons looking for long-term care needs, similar to EISEP, but are in the Medicaid program. So they're very similar programs. EISEP is non-medical though, and the long-term care resource center, where we provide services or manage long-term care companies provide those services to people. That is, they are medically based and need doctor's orders. So that's pretty much the only difference. One is medically based and one is not. But the services that are provided, the care management, the case management, the home visits, the assessments, all of those things are really a reflection of each other for the services. And can you explain more about the respite program? The respite program is the ancillary service of the EISEP program, where EISEP will provide for adult day programming, so the caregiver can have that time off to do the things that they need, similar to what we heard a little bit earlier in the presentation. So people that are in the EISEP program, if they are amenable, if they need to be, we can work with them, work with family to get them involved in the social adult day program. Right now, though, there are not a lot of social adult day programs that are open, but as we all have seen starting this morning, things starting to get back to some normalcy. We're hoping that will happen again very soon. But yes, and we also provide in-home respite. We receive a grant from the Alzheimer's Association, and we provide in-home respite as well to caregivers. It's 120 hours a year, I believe. Can't quote me about the year, but it's 120 hours. I think it's 12 months. And so that's another program that's popular too. Respite is so very, very important. Okay. Again,
Oh, I was just going to say, JoAnne, I think that's all the questions we had for today, but I'll let you take it away.
All right. Again, I just wanted to say thank you very much. Those are great questions. Remember to look at our website. Ellen McCauley, our public information specialist, is on this webinar with us, and she has a fabulous website where you can get all the information that you need. If you're looking again, there's a question about farmers market coupons and eligibility. That information will be there. Information about respite will be there. Everything that we do. So I encourage everyone and invite you to take a look. And I really very, very much appreciate Vera House for asking us again this year. And it's the 24th Elder Abuse Conference, and I have today been to 23 of them. So it really means something. It means a lot to me. So thank you for all that you do.
Well, thank you so much for being here, JoAnne. We really appreciate both you and Natalie sharing your knowledge and expertise and all these wonderful resources that you provide to our community. So thank you again for taking the time to be here. I will be sharing this PowerPoint with our attendees now that I have your permission to do so. So those of you who are on the call with us right now, definitely be on the lookout for that. So again, thank you all for coming. We hope to see some of you who are on here now at our future sessions throughout the remainder of the conference. Thank you all so much, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care.